Thank you. Of course, yeah. How are we doing this? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say. So, what made you want to come back to the series, as an Audible original? Like, what brought you to being able to?
I wanted that sweet Amazon Prime membership taken care of. Guess what? They still have it. I'm paying. What the hell, guys? No. I mean, I was really lucky. Audible came to us, I think, and we've been off the air for 3 years, but Earp is a show you just cannot kill with fire. So it's both the most cursed and blessed show ever, which is what a wonderful thing. Here's my theory about it. I think post-COVID more than ever, we see fragmented audiences, right? We see like 500 plus scripted shows, and the truth is we have the benefit of this loud, passionate, extremely good-looking audience, fandom, the Earpers. And I think being able to deliver that to an Audible or a Tubi on a silver platter is more unusual than ever, right? A baked-in audience that's going to show up no matter what. I'm just going to keep it super casual for you. Supernatural. Anyway, I think that, Audible really saw kind of the value in this community that wanted more stories, and we were pretty intrigued about telling them in this format, although intimidated too at first, for sure.
No, you came in late.
Fight. No.
What's been the biggest challenge about adapting it for a different medium? Going from television to audiobooks,
right?
Whatever you call it.
Yeah, it's fine. I won't tell. Yeah, it's all good. It was really intimidating. I will be honest, as the writer. I think when you are a writer, you should always be a little bit terrified, to be honest, or you don't care enough. That's my secret. Look, the secret is TV is literally show, don't tell, and the audio stories are literally tell, don't show, right? First of all, we didn't have the crutch of this beautiful cast, which was a major problem. Second of all, I wasn't really sure how to denote action in a way that wasn't just someone being like, oh, they're stomping around with the werewolf, whatever. But when I kind of realized how freeing this medium was going to be, it became a whole other ball game. I'm also not tired. I'm fine. What I mean by that is no budget constraints, right? Like, we really got to tell stories in the audio medium that we would never be able to do on the show, like on a plane, on a train in the Old West. Someone may or may not become a Godzilla-like giant. You'll have to stay tuned to find out. So that became really freeing, and also a chance to kind of reward the fans with stories maybe that we didn't get a chance to pick up on in the series, or take a C character and give them an A story. Just do things. It almost felt like fan fiction in the best possible way. Yeah. You're back up.
So how many episodes will you have for Audible, and then Tubi, how many will we have?
Like total?
Yeah,
like we
separately.
got 6 episodes for Audible, but maybe we could get a season 2.
When will we find out? Like after?
I don't know when we'll find out. I'm gonna announce it. Look at you. You're like, please don't announce anything. Like, to announce the Broadway performance of Earp. You heard it here first. Just kidding. Look, I love it, especially being like 3 years off Earp. I was a little intimidated going back. Like, yeah, we had a movie this year and all these Audible series. It was kind of the year of Earp. It was so funny. But going back into the world with these beloved characters, I feel like I have so many more stories left to tell. So if the Earpers show up and they want us to do more, we're happy to do it. How about that?
Right. And then the other series?
Oh,
do you think?
Tubi?
Yeah.
No, it's just one movie so far. Okay. But again, we're like crossing our fingers.
So is this like a reboot of the series? Like
it's like not a reboot, it's a continuation. So here's how I would say it. There was
I didn't know if you wanted
that's
to
okay.
start over.
There were 4. No, God, no. Recast? Is that what you're suggesting? I'm going to tell them you said that. Yeah, no. Just kidding. So there's 4 seasons of the television show. The movie sort of ends up being 18 months, maybe 2 years, like kind of like where we are after the TV show. And then the Audible stories are kind of the bridge between them. So they're sort of right after season 4, before the movie. So that's kind of how we thought of it. I definitely ended the movie on a cliffhanger, a very controversial cliffhanger. So I'm hedging my bets that everyone's going to be angry enough that it's easier to just give them more. Yeah, I'll be your villain if it means more. Yeah, thank you.
Tim wrote an episode.
Yeah.
I would love to know how you feel allowing Tim to fanfic out loud.
I bullied him into it. Trust me. That's very generous that he said that. So Tim Rozon is the Earpiest Earper who ever Earped. Nobody is a bigger fan of the show and of Doc Holliday than Tim. Tim is one of the most humble guys I know, but I remember I've worked with him since I was 18, and I didn't want to audition him for Doc Holliday just because I knew him really well, and I was not sure it was a match. And for the first time ever, Tim, who again is very humble, said to me, I really think I could do this. Let me audition. Amazing. Nailed it. Iconic. Great mustache. But Tim, also in first season, handed me a script he wrote of Wynonna Earp, which as a writer, I'm like, this is crazy. Why would you ever write if you didn't have to? So I knew he had an interest in it, and it's just so funny about his character, and had so many ideas about Doc's relationship with Wyatt Earp and Calamity Jane. So when it came time for the idea of doing kind of a backstory episode of Doc, I knew he was the perfect person to do it. Audible felt like a safe space. We could fix it if we needed to, but we didn't have to. He wrote beautifully. He did such a good job. Yeah. It's our first episode. Yeah.
Supernatural dramas seem to engender a fan base in a way that other type of shows don't do that.
Right.
Regular dramas. What do you think it is about the genre that makes it so beloved by fans?
I think a lot of people think of themselves as underdogs and outsiders, and that is the truth, right? And I am Canadian. I live in the shadow of the juggernaut, so I am used to feeling like an underdog. I think also the truth about genre, not to get too serious, is it's a chance to explore themes about what it is to be humanity in a way you couldn't do in a sitcom, right? Like no show exhibits this better than Star Trek. Really, like what does it mean to be human in a world that maybe isn't entirely human? So you can talk about big things, but also if you're Wynonna Earp, you can have lots of dick jokes. You can have to do high and low. The world is your oyster. I think one theme I do in my work all the time that I think comes up in genre is the idea of becoming who you want to be versus who society tells you you are. You know, like you can become a hero. You can reinvent yourself. You can become a superhero. You can gain powers, or you can kind of exist in a world that has powers and you do not, and choose to do good. And I think a lot of people like to see themselves like that. And if genre is done well too, it still is ultimately about character and relationships, and that's where we sit. Yeah.
Are there any stories that you had in mind for the TV show that you couldn't do because of like budget or like the laws of physics or whatever that you might like repurpose into potentially future Audible?
Oh yeah, and even the ones we did, we went completely crazy and did things we would never do. So one takes place on a plane that's about to crash. We literally couldn't even get a plane like in the background, I don't think. Maybe a pigeon on our budget. So that was extremely exciting. We do one in the Old West as well that takes place a mystery on a train. So again, apparently you just need a train whistle when you don't have to see the train, which is great, and you don't have to get a time machine, so that was convenient. But the other thing we were able to do is maybe fill in the gaps of some of the storylines we hadn't done. For example, did I talk about this already? There's a storyline in season 3 of Wynonna Earp where some of the characters disappear into another realm, into a garden, and other characters are left at home for over 18 months not knowing if their beloved ones are alive or dead. So many fans were like, we really want to know what happened in that time period. So we ended up writing a story about one of the characters left behind and how they kind of dealt with their trauma. So it did feel like a gift to the fans, but also a chance to really play in a new way. Yeah. So yes, I have ideas for more.
Why do you think Wynonna Earp and the Earp-verse work so well in so many different mediums? We have the comic book, we have the Audible, we have the movie, the show.
The opera that we're going to develop. Yeah, exactly.
The anime.
Yeah, exactly. Interpretive dance.
Right.
I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't say, because this cast is extraordinary. I honestly think they are lightning in a bottle, one of a kind. They love the project so much too. They're so committed to the crazy that their performances are still so emotional and real, you know? And I think the fact that we all kind of like each other means that we're happy to have an opportunity to get together and play, no matter what the medium. And I think there's something subconscious about that love for one another that the fans can feel. Like, I think it's a very mutual, kind of beneficial relationship too. We're very close with the fandom, so it feels like something that we all own. Does that make sense? For a lot of people. And that's pretty incredible as a creator when it stops being just yours and kind of belongs to other people. So we're very blessed, yeah.
Were you able to be involved with the recording sessions for this at all?
I did. I got to go. It was amazing. One thing Audible did, which made all the difference, was they flew in everybody to make sure they were all in the same room at the same time, which I think people were, it made such a huge difference. Like, again, being able to look into your scene partner's eyes versus being, you know, someone's in Sydney, Australia, and someone's in Berlin. It's a little more hard. I think that took some of the curse off it for the actors. They were quite intimidated, but being able to look the same way they would on the show show and see each other and play off each other and emote off one another, you can really hear the difference, I think, in the recording, that they're together, and it feels very emotional and real. So that was wonderful. But just watching the professionalism, I know what I'm good at, but it's definitely not my medium. Watching the director kind of like just to give room for people to kind of have fun and improv, but also making sure he got it. Just his sense of scale and what he could add to it with the soundscape was incredible. Yeah.
So if you can have anyone cameo onto one of your episodes, who would it be?
Another badass woman. I wouldn't say no to a Gillian Anderson, or a Sigourney Weaver, or a Sarah Michelle Gellar, or some sort of Hydra character where they're all together with 3 heads, and then Lucy Lawless just shaking her head. Yeah, exactly. So any badass woman. I've had the pleasure of working with Linda Hamilton before, so that was bucket list. But yeah, if you could just give them a call, that would be amazing. Thanks, guys. Yeah.
Just tweet Gillian.
Yeah, quickly.
What happened to the Lucy Lawless campaign?
She definitely has been, she knows about Earp, and she's been so close to so many characters, so many times, both in the movie and on the show, but she lives in New Zealand, which apparently is far away. Yeah,
Audible.
I know, Audible! You know what, I like the way you think. She can do it on the phone. Come on, Lucy. Yeah, in her PJs. All right, I'll get her.
I remember campaigning for
Oh yeah, Shatner was campaigning for us. People were just like, come on, Lucy. Yeah, she's lovely. And I've met Renee, who's also really lovely, but someday, yeah.
Are there any special guests that are coming?
Not particularly, no. Everyone, they're all special. How about that? They're all special, I would say. But no, I would say there's a couple new characters who show up, but no big names, no big names. They will be though. We'll make them big. How about that?
Do you like be satisfied and just say, that's it, this is it? Because a lot of people like to stop on top.
I mean, I think it has to evolve. This is like, we did a movie, and I think like we made some choices in the movie that I think some people liked and some people didn't. That's the one thing. And we do have to have new stories to tell. And my thing is, I really want to meet everybody where they are. I don't want to tell the story of 19-year-olds anymore. I like the story of these characters and heroes getting older a little bit and meeting them where they're at, but not yet. I want to go well into my Golden Girls era and be Earping, okay? I can Earp from my rocking chair. It's fine. Don't worry. Yeah, exactly. Are they cutting us off? Thank you so much, you guys. Enjoy the rest of the